that is kind of how my yoga journey began in America. My body is actually better doing the slow yoga than the fast yoga. As Patanjali says, yoga is chitta vritti nirodha, which is, ceasing and controlling the thoughts and fluctuations of your mind.
Many people think that only asanas are yoga. So that's a very big misconception people have. Coming to India and learning the Indian way of yoga, was there a culture shock moment when you thought like, I have entered totally in another world?
I mean, my husband now is turned into a yogi. Like he does yoga every morning on his own. And girls that are suffering from like a lack of a period or too much of a period, yoga, I think, helps you find that balance. One of my very close friends here, she has suffered with a lack of a period for a long time. And she started doing Surya Namaskar 108 times, and it just has regulated.
What's one practice you swear by now during your period week? What would you say to young girls who feel disconnected from their own body? Namaste and welcome back to Heal Her series by Healthy Pinch. Today's episode is a beautiful blend of East and West, tradition and transition. You think yoga is just stretching? Our guest is someone who didn't just fall in love with yoga, she fell in love with India, married into its culture, and is now redefining what wellness and womanhood mean in this modern world. Today, we are talking real stuff. Please welcome Jaime, a yoga instructor, wellness explorer, and someone whose story is going to inspire you to look at yoga differently.
Thank you, Jagpreet, for having me. And there's so much that I really want to say and communicate about yoga. And I hope that something that I say in my personal story will inspire many women, especially women, to either start or really dive deeper into the yoga journey.
So glad to have you here. This one's going to be so real, so raw, and I know it will speak to a lot of women. Let's start with your yoga journey. This is basically the journey of embracing the East, the feminine, and the real power of yoga. So let's dive in. Now, let's start with where most journeys begin, with confusion. So tell us honestly, what did you think yoga was before coming to India, and what totally surprised you?
So for me, the first time I heard the word yoga was about 2002, 2003. I lived in San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
And yes, and there was some coworkers that had come into work, and they said, we took this yoga class last night, and like it was like nothing we've tried. My body hurts so bad. And I thought, like, I'm not like interested. But that's the first time I heard yoga. So fast forward to about 2008 and 9, I moved to Nashville, Tennessee. And the YMCA is for those that don't know, like a local community center for sports, they have a gym, they have activities. So they had a yoga class. And I thought, I'm just going to give it a shot. And I tried, and I remember very clearly, like the downward facing dog. And I couldn't do it. And I walked out of the class thinking, oh no, like I didn't really understand still, like, what is this? So like something in me kept pulling me back. So I decided to give some more classes a shot with different instructors there. And so basically I learned Hatha and Vinyasa. And that's what I stuck with. And what I knew was that my body was definitely changing. So I'll get to this later on about yoga is not per se, it's not a physical exercise, but I noticed my body was changing, and I noticed something inside of me, like the way I thought, my mental way of seeing things was changing on a very subtle level. And I had absolutely no context for that. So that is kind of how my yoga journey began in America. And I stayed with it. And then during COVID, I did online yoga with like yoga. I would say they're very famous. I won't say who it is, but I did that with them for 4 years. And they have a platform. And again, it's Hatha yoga. Okay. So during that time, I I still was not understanding how deep yoga was. So for me, I knew it was from India. I knew about the chakras. I knew, like the outside exterior stuff that most people think. And, but I just want to say too, like yoga for me was a way, to stay fit and a way to like calm the stress in my life. And I think for most people worldwide, that's what yoga is, a way for them to like, calm themselves down, but they don't really understand what I think is really happening at the subtle levels. And so fast forward to my experience with Indian yoga. When last year, I had found Swasti online, and it was very much a divine meeting because, like, throughout my life, people had said, well, my adult life, are you a yoga instructor? And it would just like happen at random places like the grocery store. And I just thought, why are people asking me this? And my husband even said, have you considered teaching yoga?
Yeah.
And I was a teacher at one time, and I thought, I don't know, but something last summer changed. And when I found Swasti, I'm certified in the first level yoga protocol, and
Mm.
I'm studying yoga therapy now. But I was blown away and surprised at how Ashtanga yoga, first of all, I didn't know about Patanjali. So the Yoga Sutras and the 8 limbs changed everything.
Wow.
And what also to like the yoga that we're taught, basically I just want to say, so asanas are like this much of yoga. And I always assumed, like most people, that they're yoga. And then when, after like the second week or so, I started to really wonder, because in Ashtanga, it's very slow, so we're taught Stithram Sukham Asanam, which is slow and steady postures. And it's asanas, first of all, are a way for your body and mind to become steady and comfortable. And that to me took a while to adjust to because I was still in that mindset of why is it so slow? And I think what I realized and what I see the greatest benefit now is that my body is actually better doing the slow yoga than the fast yoga. And Dr. Vikas, he always had a saying like fast yoga or fashionable yoga, which I think that's what I came from. And how like fast, and I like to say like fast fashion and slow fashion,
Right.
that in the yoga, we know which one is better.
Yes.
But basically, I knew the asana names before India yoga.
Yeah.
Now I know the whole context underneath. And yoga is really, as Patanjali says, yoga is chitta vritti nirodha, which is, ceasing and controlling the thoughts and fluctuations of your mind.
Yeah.
And to me, when I really put that in the forefront of what yoga is, it changed everything. It changes how you do yoga and what you do. So that's it in a nutshell. I could say like so much more.
Wow, so beautifully explained. Actually, you speaking in Sanskrit, the real meaning of yoga is so wonderful. And as you said and mentioned that, many people think that only asanas are yoga. So that's a very big misconception people have. And learning the Eastern way, learning the Indian way, you get to understand like yoga can actually change you from within, and you can connect with yourself. You can understand yourself much more better when you actually get to know what real yoga is. So I'm glad that you got this path in your life, and you are actually exploring this path, and I'm sure you'll go much deeper and learn greater truths of your life and would serve much more better. Following up to this, coming to India and learning the Indian way of yoga, was there a culture shock moment when you thought, like, I have entered totally in another world?
Um, For India or yoga specifically?
I would
The
say
Indian.
yoga. Yeah, Indian way of yoga.
So yes and no. I mean, I would say what I said before, the Indian yoga of understanding it from the Eastern mindset, that was definitely so different from so in the West, basically, when people do yoga, it's at studios or online like it is in India, but it's all about physical. It's the physical, the sweating, the, getting into the asanas and then at the end, you might say Om Shanti, 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 and they might do a little bowl singing. But that's so basically, I think the shock was, as I said, the depth of yoga and how, even when I studied really, really hard through the course, and and I think like my mind is still like absorbing this stuff. I think it's a lifetime journey, as you said. It's a lifetime journey. And I'm just at the very tip, but I think that I've gained so much that I feel, I mean, my husband now is turned into a yogi. Like he does yoga every morning on his
Oh,
own
wow.
because so it's like I know it's making an impact in my household.
Wow.
Um, but yes, definitely. And I think too the Sanskrit, like you said, learning some Sanskrit, learning from the ancient texts has really been, I wouldn't even say a shock, but such a delightful surprise and really feeling that you are so close to the source.
That's really amazing. Because bringing change in your family first and then bringing change in the society, that is a great thing. It is like you are investing in something and getting good returns. Because if you are healthy, your family is healthy, definitely you are going to serve everyone in a better way. Because if you are happy, you will be able to reciprocate the same. So that's a very good thing, actually. And I'm glad that your husband has also, started that yoga routine, seeing you and inspired by you. That's a very great thing. Next, as we are, focusing on women's female health more here. So as women we carry so much, like physically, emotionally, so many hormones are there on in play. So what do you think, what changes did you notice when you shifted from, like say fast yoga to slow yoga for your menstrual and emotional wellness?
I would say, and I even noticed this in hatha yoga, but I have always struggled with a very, very heavy period, a menstrual cycle, and it was often very unpredictable.
Okay.
So I noticed with yoga, it definitely regulated it, and I've never had any cramps. So I don't know if that's genetic or the asanas are working your body in such a fashion that the cramps just don't come. So I would definitely say, and I can say this from the beginning of my yoga journey through that I think that it really helps in regulation because it works on the hormonal level, as you said, and also the physical level. So it definitely has regulation would be the word, I think. And so women that are suffering, girls that are suffering from like a lack of a period or too much of a period, yoga, I think, helps you find that balance between. And I would just like to share one of my very close friends here. She has suffered with a lack of a period for a long time. And she started doing Surya Namaskar
Mhm.
108 times, and it just has regulated. So she sticks with that and it's worked. Like nothing else worked.
That's really inspiring, and you are very true because yoga actually helps in, balancing the hormones naturally. So for a female, it is very much important to understand yoga at a very early age. It is like, you are very lucky if you have got the understanding of yoga in your early ages, because that will tremendously shift your, understanding, your thinking, the thoughts you have in your mind, the way of looking to others' needs, being empathetic, and so much more. So, definitely, as you mentioned about your friend, so that's the power of yoga. You can actually like treat so many diseases, even lifestyle diseases, manage all of them with the help of yogic practices. And as you mentioned that you are also pursuing yoga therapy, and I'm sure you must be learning about various lifestyle diseases, like
Yes.
how you can actually manage those things. So that's a very wonderful thing, because after doing that yoga therapy, you'll be able to help more people, you'll be able to guide more with your voice, with your teachings. So that's a great thing that you are currently pursuing, and I'm wishing you all the best for that. So keep growing in that. Moving on to next, what's one practice you swear by now during your period week?
I would say definitely child's pose, Balasana, and the supine spinal twist, which is the Supta Matsyendrasana.
Yeah.
So those ones I feel there's like a slight like
Stretching.
what's the word? Stretch, and then there's also relaxation. So
Relaxation.
those ones I feel are very nice, and then I feel too, like depending on a woman's individual cycle,
Mm-hmm.
that like don't be strenuous on yourself. I think that it's just for a little time,
Yeah.
and like stay more to the like relaxing asanas, more towards like the meditation
Yeah.
and those type of things, because I think, there's obviously some that you shouldn't do during that time. So yeah.
Definitely. That's again a wonderful advice from you, because many people, many ladies feel that they should practice yoga during their periods also. But according to the pain they are having, according to the cycle they are having, that if it is very heavy and painful periods, they should not strain themselves, as you mentioned. Certain relaxation poses are good, because they can actually help you feel better. Other than that, deep breathing exercises and meditation practices work wonders. Even yoga nidra, if you practice, it helps you to relax a lot during periods. So these practices should be done when you are in your menses. Moving on to next, what would you say to young girls who feel disconnected from their own body?
Oh, this question I love. And I think not just young girls, but I think women in general. And I feel that I just want to kind of start from the angle of, if you are a huge social media person, like please stop comparing your body to filtering and touch ups, because it's just not reality. And I feel that in our society that so much disconnection comes because ironically we're connected so much
Mm.
to images that are not so I would say to girls who really struggle that so I'll take this to yoga. So, meditation, I would say during meditation, if you're new to it, give yourself like 10, 15 minutes. And I would even say, recommend incorporating a mantra. So, it could be something as simple as, I love my body because it can move, or I love my smile because I don't know, I have teeth, like something so simple. But I think my point is like loving and appreciating and gratitude for what is working in your body. And I think like during meditation, that's a very great way to start connecting and becoming connected to your senses. And then going to asanas, I feel that when you're actually in the physical asana, it's allowing your attention and your mind to become. So if you go into the practice thinking like appreciation for your body, you will connect with it in such more ways. But also not only that, but I feel journaling, like people that are disconnected from their body, if you're a journaler, it'd be nice to take time to like recognize what your body can do because everybody has limitations, some people more than others. But I think that, daily we don't remember that we can walk, we can see, we can taste, we can hear. And so many people cannot do that. And
Right.
I think that staying introspective and just the yoga helps in so many ways to connect with the way your body is. And it doesn't mean, pushing yourself beyond your capacity, but learning to like being able to control your body and being blessed to do with your body with what you've been given. So I think that it's just a way to reconnect to yourself when the world is trying to tell you, so many other things.
Wow, very beautifully explained. Seriously. Any last words? A message basically to all the women in the world.
I would say just be kind to yourself and just pursue what your heart is telling you to do. And I think that, for me, I think yoga played a big part in helping me to live in such a crazy world. And what I wanted to go back to as well with yoga is like anxiety. I think that a lot of girls and a lot of women these days are living with severe anxiety, with comparison, whatever it is in your life, and men and women.
Hmm.
And I think my message is to take time to introspect and take time to be able to connect with other people. And that's what I think too, like a yogic community can really help you with, is that you are with like-minded people. And it's a time to not only physically, but mentally manage your mind, because at the end of the day, that's all we really can manage, our own thoughts and how we express them in our actions.
Wow. Thank you, James, for sharing your heart out, your journey, and your wisdom with us. You actually remind us that, yoga isn't about touching your toes, it's about touching your truth. And sometimes it takes crossing oceans, entering new families, and unlearning old beliefs to finally come home to yourself. So it's not done yet. We will again meet for our next episodes to know more about you, to know more beliefs that you have broken or the new things that you have learned. So stay tuned, guys, for the next episode. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. If you have ever felt disconnected from your body, let this episode remind you that healing isn't about doing more, it's about listening deeper. James' story is proof that when you open up to ancient wisdom, you don't just change your habits, you reclaim your power. Want to go deeper into this journey? Follow this podcast. Don't forget to share this episode with your girlfriends, especially the ones who think yoga is just a workout. They need this more than they know. DM us your biggest insight and drop a heart if you have ever had a moment of body reconnection. Subscribe our channel for more such powerful episodes on Heal Her series. And grab your free hormone balancing yoga guide. Link is in the description. And guess what? We are not done yet. James coming back. Yes, stay tuned for the next episodes where we dive into something powerful. What does Shakti really mean to a woman who found herself through yoga? You don't want to miss this. So this is Jappreet signing off from Heal Her episode, the space where women rise, reclaim, and remember who they really are. Until next time, stay healthy, stay happy.